Would you rather make £2,000 from a job you absolutely hate or make £5,000 a month from your phone and be able to travel all over the world? A lot of you guys have picked the first option without even realizing, and the truth is, I did too. But I can tell you from experience, you're not stuck, you're just way too comfortable. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I transformed my life in just 1 year. So let's get straight into it. So for you guys who don't already know, I went to university. I graduated with a first. This made my parents extremely happy. People around me were telling me I've got really good opportunities now. But the truth is, I just felt really lost. The problem with university, it's not real life. You're in a bubble, you're surrounded by people just messing around. I'd spent the last 3 years drinking again, going out clubbing 4 to 5 times a week, and I felt like I'd fallen behind. So I graduated from university with a first in business management and marketing, but I knew if I really wanted to stand a chance of making money, I needed to learn sales. So I did the only thing that I thought I could have done at the time, and that was to get straight into a 9 to 5, get straight into the matrix, and I actually ended up getting a cold calling role. And although this gave me quite a few skills, like I learned how to handle rejection, I learned just sales in general, and I learned how to actually speak to people, I absolutely hated it. So I had a commute to and from work every day. That's an hour there, an hour back, just stuck in traffic. The people around me, I just didn't share the same vision as them. And honestly, I just couldn't see myself being there long term at all. I honestly despised it. A few of the people there were nice. I made a few mates, but yeah, it was not for me at all. And I knew I needed to get out of there. But the problem is, from a young age, we're all conditioned. Obviously, through school, we have to wake up really early. Everything's kind of regimented. And it's in a way where when we get to the 9 to 5, we're used to it and we're comfortable in it. The way they pay you monthly salaries is to keep you comfortable, so you've got predictable income. Everything about it is just modern day slavery. A lot of you guys watching might have seen the flea in the jar analogy. The fleas can jump really, really high. Once that lid is placed on top of the jar, they can no longer jump higher. They remove the lid and the fleas continue to only jump to that height. It's the same as a 9 to 5. Everyone knows they've got a lot more potential, but they just don't do anything about it because they've been conditioned. And the thing is, I understood this at the first moment I got into a 9 to 5. I knew it was going to be like that, but I just felt so trapped and didn't really know how to get out of it, and that was my main issue at the time. So another thing that I understood really well is that the enemy of great isn't bad, the enemy of great is good. And what I mean by that is, unless your situation gets really, really bad, you'll stay comfortable in a situation and you won't actually make a change. Now, with that in mind, I started to think, unless my situation actually gets quite bad, I'm not going to leave this job. So I started to slack around. Instead of hitting my targets, I ended up going to Nottingham on a 3-day bender with my friends for Halloween. And I was just playing pool in the office every day instead of actually doing the calls and hitting the targets.
No, can we just appreciate? Can we just appreciate how many balls Brad left on the table?
This actually led to me getting called into the office, and I ended up getting fired from that 9 to 5 job. Now, just before I got released from that job, I was telling loads of people I was working with, I'm gonna make a business, I'm gonna make money online, I'm gonna do something better than this. And everyone around me was telling me, Jack, you're being delusional. What are you going to do without an income? How are you actually going to manage to do that? It doesn't make any sense. You've got no plan. And the truth is, I didn't actually have a plan. But I just knew if my situation gets worse and worse and worse, I'll have to make a change. And when I actually got released from that job, the relief I felt was insane, because I knew that that was the point where I actually had to make a change. So from that time, the 9 to 5, I built up enough income to kind of just be chilling for a bit. So I ended up getting in a bit of a bad way, where I was slacking off the gym, I was eating whatever I wanted to. I'll put a clip in right now for you guys. And me and my friends were just kind of laughing about my situation. I honestly spent about a month and a half just playing Clash of Clans, doing nothing else. And it was getting ridiculous. My situation was getting worse and worse and worse. And then at this point, people around me started saying, Jack, your money's going down. What are you actually doing? You need to get into another 9 to 5. You need to go get back into the matrix. And I just really, really didn't want to do that. I just knew that I was going to make money online. And it was so stupid, because at the time I just thought to myself, it's done. I've already made money online. I'm already a millionaire. It's going to happen. And it was just such a stupid mindset, because I didn't actually implement anything and I wasn't taking any action. I just thought it was all just going to magically appear. I was living at home with my brother, and our friend Lucas was always around, and they were both trying to make money online. And then I just started to actually take some action. I was spending around 8 to 10 hours a day researching things to do. I was looking into trading. I was looking into OnlyFans management. I was looking into doing e-com, all these things, doing around 8 to 10 hours. And I just thought, you know what? I've been fired from my sales job. I've never normally ever been that bad at anything, and I just couldn't wrap my head around how I wasn't that good at it. And to be honest, this really, really started to aggravate me. I was like, there's no way these guys are actually better than me at sales. I like speaking to people, I'm confident. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's where I decided, you know what, I'm going to start on this sales journey online, and I'm going to try and make 10 grand a month. That was my main goal. However, I ran into a little bit of a problem. So I hadn't been working for around 2 or 3 months now, and the money that I'd made from my 9 to 5 had started to just go down, go down. It just kept going down, obviously. And I started just doing a little bit of part-time work for my dad. And I'll put a clip on the screen now. This is the situation I was in. Right, guys, it's coming towards the end of January 2025. I'm currently working for my dad. Got around £1,000 in my account. Yeah, I'm pretty cooked. Hopefully, if you guys are seeing this, it's because, yeah, I've made it out and I'm doing something better and I'm making more money. So as you guys can see from that clip, I was down to my last bit of money and I was in a bit of a bad way. I was working long hours for my dad, putting up signs for him and his business. And I just didn't like it. It was long days, and as I mentioned before, I'd been slacking off the gym, hadn't been dieting properly, so I gained quite a lot of excess fat, and I just wasn't happy with my physique at all. So my money was low, my physique wasn't good, and I just wasn't in that good of a position, to be honest. But then I was presented with an ultimatum. So my friends from back home were all going travelling in a few months' time, and I could carry on working with my dad, save up money, go travelling with them for 4 or 5 months and have a sick time. But then something clicked in my head, and that was before I got into my 9 to 5. I was doing work experience at my mum's work, a pharmaceutical company, and everybody I spoke to, they were like, go travelling now, because you get one chance to go travelling, and then you're stuck into the 9 to 5. And they made it so it was like, if you don't go travelling now, you'll never really be able to go again. And that just annoyed me so much. And I remember thinking, I'm seeing 20-year-olds online travelling, making money from their phones, and people expecting me to work in this 9 to 5, have a 40-year career, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. And that's when I realised if I go, I'll come back and I'll be forced to get into that 9 to 5, work my way up the careers ladder, and I just didn't want that normal life. I just knew if I could make my situation a little bit harder, learn a high income skill, then I might somehow be able to break out of that cycle. So what I did was I analysed my position on the board and I decided not to go. Honestly, I just couldn't fathom the fact of working 9 to 5. I just hated it. I was terrified to do it. So I just decided not to go. So now what you guys had to realise, I put myself in a position where I had that opportunity cost. I saw my friends travelling, having loads of fun, and I was like, if I genuinely don't make this work, I've just wasted the opportunity to go travelling with my friends and have a sick time. And that was the motivating factor for me. However, another month went by and things weren't really going my way. I hadn't really figured anything out, hadn't made any money. And I started to think, shit, have I made a mistake here? Like I might have actually messed up a bit. And then, because I've been liking so much sales content on Instagram, I ended up getting a DM from this guy and we started chatting. And he basically asked me if I was interested in learning a little bit about high ticket sales. So I was like, yeah, go on then, why not? I ended up jumping on a call. And long story short, I ended up investing the last bit of money that I had into a mentorship. And guys, when I did this, I was pretty terrified, I'll be honest. I've never invested into myself before. I didn't really know if it was going to work. All I knew, it was a bigger risk to not take any risk at all. And in the position that I was in, I had to make it work. And looking back at things now, going all in with it is the best thing I could have possibly done, because it meant that I was the guarantee. If I worked hard, I was guaranteed to make money. And guys, this is such like a nostalgic moment for me, but I'm going to put a quick photo on the screen. This was me on the first day where I made that investment, and I just started to learn everything. I started to learn about high ticket sales. So another month had gone by, and I started to work like really, really hard. I found a new hunger, a new motivation, a new drive. I was working every single day, doing long hours, just trying to master this new skill. And I'd also started working with people who were better than me, people who were making money online, people who were traveling. Made some really, really good friends at this point. And about 1 month into my journey, this was honestly the turning point for me. I ended up going to Bali for 3 weeks. And this was my first taste of remote life. Now, although I'd only just started, I wasn't really making enough money for it to be sustainable. The fact I was in Bali, I was making money out there from my laptop. I was only there for 3 weeks, but the whole time, all I could think was, how can I make this a reality? How can I make this last forever? And that's all I was thinking. After that trip, I really, I really locked in. I really focused, and all I cared about was getting back out there, going to Thailand, going to Bali, going to these places, and being able to work from my phone. So if I really, really wanted to make that a reality, I knew that the role that I was currently on when I was in Bali was not really up to scratch. It was not really good enough. So I focused a lot on landing a good role and networking with people around me, chatting to people who are in a better position than me, enabling me to actually land a sick role where I was working for a really big fitness influencer in America, and I took control of his DMs, and I was booking in loads of appointments. And this was the point where I actually really made good money that would enable me to actually go back. And honestly, guys, the moment you've matched your income from your 9 to 5 purely from your phone, that's where your brain really gets kind of restructured, because you realize it's actually possible to never work a 9 to 5 ever again. As long as you put the work in, as long as you're dedicated, it can actually become a reality. And the sickest thing about locking in with work, it kind of seeps into other areas of your life. So I know I mentioned before how I'd got quite chubby, I wasn't happy with my physique. Well, I actually became really locked in with the gym. My diet was on point. I ended up getting my abs back, actually looking good. And then the point where it really, really accelerated from here is I actually ended up doubling up on roles. So this is really a game changer in high ticket sales, especially when you're doing the DM roles. If you can double up on them, instead of just making 2k from one role and you have two, you can obviously get up to quite quickly up to 4 grand a month. It's a lot more work, but it's really, really doable. And this is where people around me started asking, what are you actually doing to make money? How does that even work? And people just started getting interested in what I was doing. And then at this point, I started helping people around me, helping people for free. And then they started to see results. And then that's where I thought, okay, why don't I just build my own mentorship? And that's what I ended up doing. Me and my good friend Lewis, we ended up making our own mentorship, and we started to see results pretty quickly. Results like these. People were making money on top of their 9 to 5s, and everything started to accelerate really, really quickly. So fast forward to today, the mentorship's growing day by day. We're getting better results every single week. And it's actually meant that me and Lewis have now booked a one-way trip out to Thailand in the new year. And the sickest part of that is it's not just me and Lewis who are going. Other people from the group are coming abroad with us, which is actually an insane feeling. This just shows you guys how possible it actually is to make money online. Now, I changed my situation over the period of a year. However, with mine and Lewis's support, our students are making these changes faster than ever. Guys, I'm guessing if you've made it to the end of this video, it's because you can either relate to what I've been saying, you're in a position you currently don't really want to be in and you want to make that change, or you're just genuinely curious to learn a bit more about the online space and want to learn how to actually make money online. If that is the case, then drop me a message on Instagram, and me and my team will basically help you guys put a plan in place, and you can have a call with me and I can walk you through how it all works. And if we feel like you guys are a good fit for us, we'll get you guys onboarded, we'll introduce you to the whole community, and you guys can walk through the exact same steps that these guys have gone through. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching this video, and don't forget to drop me a message.